And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, welcome into the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. My name is James DeJerome. I'm the producer of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I've been with Brandon for a couple of years now. Brandon started this show about 7 years ago. He wanted to be an advocate for you in the Bay Area. He wants to be your local economist of choice. He has a real estate business. He's a real estate professional. He owns the Platinum MVP team here in the Bay Area. And as a real estate professional, he was meeting all these great folks in the home services. You know, he had a roofer, a plumber, an air conditioning guy. He needed a cleaning company, a moving company. Well, he thought, man, I've got this great network of professionals that I work with all the time. Why don't we bring them on a radio show and let the whole Bay Area take advantage of their knowledge? So that's how the consumer advocacy angle of the show started. The Consumer Quarterback Show was born as a way of bringing you information and knowledge from all these business owners that come on our show, take time out of their busy day to provide some information, all hoping that your dollar goes farther in the marketplace, that you make smarter decisions when purchasing. So Brandon put that show together. I'm so glad he did. In addition to our great partners that he's recruited, we have sponsorship as well. So one of our new sponsors is Jade's Premium Quality Cleaning. As a real estate professional here in the Bay Area, you can imagine you're going to need a cleaning company. A lot of these deals have to get done in a hurry. You need a property cleaned, somebody moved in or moved out. Well, Jade stepped right up. This is locally owned. We talk a lot about local economy. We want to support our local business owners. Well, Jade's Premium Quality Cleaning is certainly that. She's a family-owned local business right here in the Bay Area. Check them out online. If you need any cleaning, Jade's Premium Quality Cleaning is the cleaning company for you. All right, we've got some real estate properties as well. We're going to pitch a bunch on the show today. If you are interested in any of the properties you hear pitched on the Consumer Quarterback Show, please get in touch with Brandon and the Platinum MVP team. They've got real estate opportunities both commercially and residentially. And, of course, he's got land to build on as well. So Johnny's going to throw up a few properties for you. Here's one in the Bel Air area. If you're looking for a 2.5 bath with a 2-car garage, 422 Wildwood Way in Bel Air, newly renovated wood floor, real close to the beaches. Sharp-looking cabinets, got that new white cabinetry that Chris Robinson's always talking about from About Face Cabinetry. If you want to get to the Bel Air area, 422 Wildwood Way, get in touch with Brandon and the Platinum MVP team. Okay, here's another one in Palm Harbor. This is a 2-2 condo with a 2-car garage, vaulted ceilings, nice spacious layout. New granite in there, accent lighting. It's right on the water. It's got a bonus room. 4209 Preserve Place in Palm Harbor. Don't leave money on the table. Residential, commercial, whether you need land, Brandon and the Platinum MVP team have all your real estate needs covered. Okay, in our Salem Media Group studios, Kevin Overstreet is here. Kevin's been on our show a bunch of times. He brings great information about things you may not have even considered. He's got protection for homeowners and stories about things that have happened to homeowners here in the Bay Area that'll just rock you. You will not believe some of the things that have gone on. Kevin, what is the latest and what's going on today?
Well, as I was mentioning in the prior to the show,
right.
I come on here quite often. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoy the heck out of being here, and
we certainly like it.
A lot of fun. But I typically get into some pretty
details,
into the weeds,
yeah.
I guess you would say, with some kind of complex things that are simple to me because I've done this since I stopped bartending in '98. Okay. But today, what I'd like to do is try to help your listenership get an understanding of what title insurance actually is, how it works, and I hope I'm not losing people already because it sounds boring, but I promise I won't be. And then also some of its limitations, and then a few tips on people that need to have a title company in their corner, even if they're not buying or selling. So
okay. So we're going to learn a little bit about Insured Title today. He's got a business. You're busy all over the place. You've got all kinds of things going on, Kevin.
Yeah. So Insured Title, we call it ITA. That's my main company that's been around the longest. It's been here about 16 years, and I'm the sole owner of that company. And then related to that in a way, I've created 6 other businesses that are all really to help the consumers and the people involved in the transaction, whether it's mortgage people or real estate folks. And
Kevin's an author as well.
Yeah. It's not quite published, so I guess I'm a pre-author.
Okay.
I'm pre-authorized. Right. But so the book, The Fraud Shine State, and it's the first in what I believe will be a series of books, and it's specifically about title fraud that happens in the state of Florida. It's a rampant crime that folks just don't they don't hear about.
Yeah, I admit I was completely naive to this until Kevin came on. I had no idea this could be done.
It kind of gets covered up, and that's not the subject of the show today, but an example is there's a title company, a very good title company in Hillsborough County, I won't name their name, but it was discovered late 2018 that a person working there in the closing position, which is the person you need if you're the bad guy, she facilitated, I don't know if it's a she, he or she facilitated the sale of over 60 stolen properties.
Wow.
And it's not, as we've talked about, it's not taking your house and putting it on a truck and taking it away.
You'll never know.
Yeah. And so yes, it's a very unknown crime. The subtitle of the book is exposing the epidemic of house stealing in Florida, and I'm excited for it to come out, but we do have a couple real-time developing stories that are coming to a conclusion soon. So
How
I don't
about
want
that? Breaking news. Kevin's going to come back with all kinds of stuff for us.
Yeah.
Now, I admit I don't understand my title that much or why I need it. Help me.
Sure, absolutely. So I could talk about how title insurance started in the 1860s and then lose everyone for sure, because who really cares, right? But the title insurance is a vital thing. And also, like I said, having a title company that you're familiar with is also very important. So what title insurance traditionally is, when it's a search. So we do a search of the public records, and it's almost always issued at the time of property purchase. It doesn't have to be, but that's when it usually happens. And so we, title companies, we do a search kind of all the way back in time to when the field became lots and blocks, basically.
Okay.
And make sure that the seller is in a position to sell the property or to convey title to the property correctly. And if it's remarkable how often homeowners don't know that there's an issue on their title because they got a piece of mail about a permit that wasn't closed or something like that, and it's become a lien, and they don't understand how to go into public records, and they don't necessarily have to. The book actually does teach people how to go in and check everything for the title to their property. But so in order for the buyer to take title with no what's called encumbrances, which is liens or problems to the title, we have to pay off the mortgage that the seller has and any other issues that there may be. One of the most common things is the seller may not believe he or she is still married to their spouse. I haven't seen that person in 15 years and we hate each other.
Right.
Well, they're going to have to sign something, and they might get some money from that. So there's there's very commonly a lot of cleanup that has to happen prior to that sale, and that's our job. So we're technically a disinterested third party. We handle the money, we handle the paperwork, and then we get fees for that, and then we transfer the ownership to the buyer via a warranty deed, and then we issue title insurance to them. And that's the one type of policy that homeowners care about. That is the owner's policy of title insurance. And then the other one is the lender's policy of title insurance, because we also insure their lender, if they have one, their lender's financial position in the property, so that when it goes to sale or foreclosure or refinance, they get paid first. And those are two separate policies. One is the owner's policy is really insuring the land, the legal description, the lot, and the ownership of that. The house means nothing. Not that the house means nothing, but if the house burns down, it doesn't affect title insurance.
Okay.
So, and
this search can go back quite a ways.
It can. We typically don't have to because the records in Florida, outside of the fraudulent ones, are very good. They're very available, and there's a really get into weeds, which I won't do. But there's a thing called the treaty, which is if another title underwriter had insured up to 5 years ago, we can trust that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We're allowed to, so we can actually just go back to that transaction. And I have one quick story that's very important. It's a very good illustration of why it's needed. So a lot of folks will say, "Why would I buy title insurance?" It says it's optional right here on this document, and it is. But about 4 years ago, and this story's in my book as well, we had a very normal transaction. A gentleman and lady owned a property as husband and wife, and then he passed away, and then they held it correctly, so she then owned all of the property. We did a search and everything, and it looked fine, and then she sold the property to a buyer down in, I want to say Naples.
Right.
And
nothing unusual so far?
Nothing at all. Nothing. And then I get a letter from an attorney that says, you can't insure her. He's still married in Greece. So the gentleman got married in Greece. In Greek law, allegedly or apparently says that that wife still has rights to the property, any property that he owns.
Anything.
Yeah. Did he know that? Did his new wife know that? I don't know, and it's a little bit irrelevant. But the transaction happened. We insured the new buyer, and then that was all discovered, and it was a mess. They sent a bunch of public records from Greece, written in Greek, to me, and I was excited because I got to be deposed, and I had this punchline in my head for a year and a half, and the attorney for the other side asked if I got these documents and the letter, and I said yes, and he said, and what'd you think? And I said, well, it was all Greek to me. So
saw that coming.
Very long wait for a punchline.
I saw that one coming.
But the point is, the buyer who had title insurance was completely protected. So our underwriter stepped in, and it was a title claim, and they made the situation go away. They basically paid the Greek wife half of the value of the property. And if that hadn't happened, or if title insurance didn't exist, then that poor buyer, if she had just said, I don't want title insurance, I want to save the $2,000 or whatever the premium was, she would have been fighting against attorneys from Greece, or people here that were enforcing those rules, and she would have been on her own. She very likely would have lost half of the value of the property and had no one to sue. You can kind of sue the seller because the warranty deed contains some language that they're guaranteeing the passage of clear title, but she would have been on her own. And title insurance, it's like any type of insurance. You get into a car accident, and then you have these huge lawyers from the insurance companies coming in to defend you. So it's a crucial thing to have for every homeowner. Something that I think almost no one knows is it's very easy to void the policy. So if you change title, if you take a property, if James buys a property and you're the insured buyer, insured owner, and then you deed the property into a trust that you control, your policy just disappeared.
Really?
Because you've changed title and you're the insured party. You were the insured party. And that's something that is relatively unknown because that's a very common thing.
So any alteration?
Yes.
Wow.
Adding a husband or wife, there are certainly exceptions. And you can also chat with the underwriter, the title underwriter that's on your policy, and ask them how to do it correctly. They can reissue the title, insuring both people or whatever the case may be. But probably between the properties that don't have title insurance at all and the ones that have had a scenario like that happen to, I would guess, somewhat educated guess, that probably 35 to 40% of the properties in the state of Florida don't have insurance.
Kevin Overstreet, InsuredTitle.com. These are things that I'd never thought about before. You know, Kevin came on and talked about the way your property can be vulnerable. And, of course, we all think about security systems, you know, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about public records and people with knowledge of records and how to use them. You better have someone who understands this approach because this is something that's only going to get more larger and become a larger problem because the clerical side is getting messier.
Yes, that's an excellent segue, James. Thank you. So the big glaring limitation of title insurance, and I love title insurance. Trust me, my people have closed in my career over 40,000 transactions. It's allowed me to have a great living, and I'm a fan of it.
Right.
However, it is the only type of insurance that is rear-facing, and what that means is so we do that search of the past, and then when you purchase the property, we're ensuring that you at that moment own the property in whatever form you were supposed to own it. So typically free and clear, except your mortgage that you just took out to buy it with. And unlike, and that's when you pay your premium. Mm-hmm. So every other type of insurance, you pay your premium and then it starts.
Right.
The coverage period begins. Title insurance, when that deed is recorded, putting you in title, which is the moment, that's the effective date to the minute of the title insurance policy, that's the end of the coverage period. So as crazy as it sounds, you can be a victim of title fraud and you have no protection. And by title fraud, I mean someone deeding the property with a fraudulent deed away or tricking you into it, away from you and into their control so they can sell or finance the property. That's the big crime that's happening everywhere because it expires. And expired's a scary word, but
right.
It expires the moment that it is issued.
So what's the play then, Kev?
Well, it's to back up just a little. It's still very important to have because going back to that Greek wife scenario,
right.
That could have happened 5 years later, and the buyer still would have been protected unless she had changed title. So the reason the crime is so easy, there's several of them. So title insurance started because of title fraud, but it was a different type of fraud. It was Abe Lincoln, actually, his family lost their house twice. And if they hadn't, he would probably be a farmer in Indiana. Probably not still. But so
we can thank title insurance for Honest Abe.
Yeah, so he the reason that it was necessary is public records weren't.
Sure,
there weren't public records,
Absolutely.
but there were records, land records, and simply someone else would just show up with documentation that looked better, and say that's my land, and maybe they're stealing land from the rightful owner, maybe they're getting back from the crook, and everybody carried guns back then, so it's not the right time to be fighting over land.
Wow.
So it was created to protect from that kind of thing, and it's very effective. And then in the 50s, the Freedom of Information Act was passed, and that made records public. That's why we call them public records. And that was fine for decades because, sure, you could do some nefarious things, but you have to go to the courthouse. You have to have the original documents. They see you, and it's difficult.
Face to face.
Yeah, and then comes the internet, of course, and now I can sit here at this computer and search any property in Florida and see everything about it and see exactly how to create a fake deed, and then I don't go to the courthouse. I can be in China. Or Afghanistan. We don't have to pick on the Chinese all the time.
Boy, that convenience will get you sometimes.
Electronic recording goes in, and the county records it, and then
it's out there in public record.
And then you no longer own your property, but you don't know that because there's not no one tells you that. Mm-hmm. And there are some services that are free. There's one in the area here called propertyfraudalert.com. Everyone should subscribe to it, but the issue or the limitation there is it searches just by name. And I think I mentioned this last time, but I went in and said, I'm John Williams, and here's my email address. And that was about a year ago, and I've gotten about 300 emails from them. And I don't think one guy's that active. But
Kevin Overstreet, InsuredTitle.com. You can see how this thing is a blind spot for most people. You know, I had no idea. Most people don't. If you don't have somebody working for you or a professional with an eyeball that knows this thing, you can get burned. And Kevin has a great example. Gentleman saying, what are you talking about? I got a shotgun. No one's taking my house. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter that you have a shotgun. This thing's going on in the background.
Nobody's taking your house, but we're going to create fake equity in your house and steal all of that. And then bring the shotgun to court. You might get a better result.
All right, Kevin, we're get you out of here right now. Tell us the best way to folks who have questions. What can they do to get in touch with you?
One other really quick thing.
Yeah.
Renters, before you rent a property, contact a title company. Have them do a quick title search. You're not going to get title insurance, but scams are happening everywhere where people pretend they own a property, steal your first month's rent and security deposit. We'll do them for free. As a courtesy to a few people. We're not going to do hundreds of them, but a title company will do that search for you for like $50.
Wow, so you might not even think you need it, but there's an example where it might help you.
Yeah. So the best way to get in touch with Insured Title is go to insured-title.com. Our main office is in West Chase and second office in South Tampa. I can be reached at via email at kevin@kevinoverstreet.com. And
well, we're going to bring Kevin back. He's got developments on the way in the book and with other stories about this kind of crime that you won't believe the kind of stuff we're talking about. When do you think, Kev? When do you think the next development will be in this? You're trying to get in touch with detectives who are working the case now?
Yeah, there's one detective, and I haven't heard back from him. I was expecting to a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I don't want to harass a detective.
But I don't blame you.
But yeah, it'll be shocking.
All right, we're going to bring him back in with all that information for you. Thanks so much for coming in, Kevin Overstreet.
Thank you.
InsuredTitle.com. He's got a book out. You're going to learn all about this crime. If you don't know about it already, you need to because it's going on right in our state. All right, when we come back, we've got Gregg Bowman, the AC guy of Tampa Bay here. He's got great information about your indoor air quality and ways that you might protect your family from COVID-19. Don't go anywhere. This is the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
That's right, consumerqb.com, a great resource for you. You can find all our partners and all our sponsors at that site. The sponsor for this segment is Discovery Golf Cars. You know, not just for golfers anymore. Everyone has a golf cart, business, recreation. This is a place to go. Discovery Golf Cart has lots of makes and models. Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman. They sell them new and pre-owned. They have opportunities to rent or buy. They offer financing and even have mobile repair come right out to you. If you want to check them out, Tampa or Clearwater locations or online at discoverygolfcars.com. Okay, Brandon is a owner of the Platinum MVP Team. We've got real estate opportunities for you. We're going to pitch a few right now. Johnny's going to throw one up on the screen for me. In Spring Hill, if you want to get in the Spring Hill area, I have 41 acres. Man, that's a lot of land right there at County Road 52 and Highway 41 in Pasco County. Again, in the Spring Hill area, 12500 Hamlin, 41 acres. You want to start a ranch or be a farmer? There it is right there. Get in touch with Brandon. Great opportunity to build, do whatever you want out there. Lots of room in Spring Hill. Here's one in Newport Richey, a full acre. This is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 4,100 square feet, a full acre there right on the water, 6128 Oak Ridge Ave. You want to get into Newport Richey, great residential opportunity from the Platinum MVP Team. Brandon has real estate, even in this time of low inventory. Don't leave money on the table. Get in touch with Brandon. Okay, we got a little time before the break. I wanted to bring Gregg Bowman in and just talk about what we're going to talk about today. Gregg does a great job with indoor air quality. You know, he's the AC guy of Tampa Bay. So you don't get to be the AC guy of Tampa Bay if you don't know much about air conditioning. I've learned so much from Gregg about the ins and outs of air quality and all that stuff. What's going on? What's the latest over there at AC guy of Tampa, Gregg?
Well, actually, the weather has turned cool enough that we've actually got a few no-heat calls coming in. So a little early, I think, for that. But,
so you find Floridians don't even have a heat pump sometimes?
A lot of them do not, yeah. A lot of people, you know, especially native Floridians who've been here all their life,
right.
When it gets cool, they just love it, and they don't bother turning heat on. But usually, a snowbird or a northerner's down here, if it gets a little cool, they may turn heat on.
And we talk about that smell. People say, "Oh, my house is burning. There must be something burning."
Yeah, it's when the unit's been sitting off for all summer. Actually, more than that really, because we turn them off probably in February. Dust accumulates in there on the heating coils, and when you fire that off, it burns that dust off, so you get that burning smell. We actually turned the heat on in our office today just to burn that off, so we wouldn't have that coming up.
Yeah, I used to work. I told you I was in the media for a while. I used to get calls as a photographer to go out in the middle of the night for a house fire. It was never a house fire. It was always just somebody with dust burning off in their AC unit heater. Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, Gregg's gonna talk about indoor air quality. It's a huge issue for us. Gregg, just a few seconds here. Talk about the UV thing for me, just for 20 seconds.
UV is a product that's used for treating in the quality of our indoor air, for removing bacteria, molds, mildews, viruses from the air. Can also be used, though there's technologies that utilize it to tackle chemicals in the air as well, and odors. So it's a great product for
this is a really cool thing that I had no idea about. I want to introduce this to you as consumers out there in case you're concerned about your indoor air quality, and certainly who wouldn't be? You spend most of your time in your house. If your indoor air quality is poor, your health is going to be poor. So we talk a lot about respiratory distress, especially with COVID-19. Everyone's worried about their immune system, everything. Indoor air quality is someplace you don't want to skimp. So when we come back from the break, Gregg's going to tell us all about some of the products and some of the things he can do. Don't go anywhere. Again, the Consumer Quarterback Show, all our partners, all our sponsors. Check them all out, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Alrighty, everyone, stand by, please.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
That's right. Give Brandon a call. He's got all your real estate needs covered. As a Bay Area realtor for many years, he's got property even in this time of low inventory. We've got a great sponsor for you for this segment. It is Replenish IV Solutions. What a cool concept. Replenish IV Solutions. If you want to feel energized, hydrated, and replenished, they use safe and effective ways to restore your body's systems. We talk about our immune system. We're going to talk a little bit with Gregg about COVID and things that your AC, your indoor air quality might affect. Well, Replenish IV Solutions is there for you, too. They want to max out your immune system by giving you an infused drip. They'll come out and hook an IV up with great nutrients for you. They'll come right to you if you can't get to one of their locations. So really cool business model. Longtime friends of the program, replenishivsolutions.com. And we got a property for you as well. As I've told you before, Brandon owns the Platinum MVP team. He's a Keller Williams agent, and he's got real estate opportunities for you, even in this time of low inventory, if you're looking to get into Brandon. In the Brandon area, 4-2 with a 2-car garage right in a cul-de-sac, 2,160 square feet in Brandon, 3405 Gray Whetstone. Really updated interior, looks really sharp, vaulted ceilings, white cabinetry, just like Chris from About Face talks about. So great opportunity for you in the Brandon area. Give Brandon Rhymes a call. Don't leave money on the table. He's got real estate for you all the time. Before the break, we had Gregg Bowman, the AC guy of Tampa Bay, in the chair, and we still do. But Gregg's got great information for us. We're going to talk a little bit about air quality. We all talk about COVID-19, and certainly we're worried about our indoor air quality and our immune system. I don't think a lot of folks know about the ability to filter your air beyond just having a standard air filter. So if you could, Gregg, just talk about some of the options out there for people looking to improve their indoor air quality.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a lack of awareness about what you can do about your air quality, and COVID's actually making that more prevalent and bringing attention to it. But the standard air filter that you typically think of with your air conditioner that you change really doesn't do much for your air quality. That's more designed to protect your equipment from getting dirty.
Okay.
But there are more highly advanced filtration systems that can be installed to remove fine dust particles, dust mites. But then the UVs that we talked about, before the break, those get into tackling the other two areas that are what the EPA calls danger areas in air quality. That would be the biologicals, COVID being one of those, viruses, molds, mildews. And then the other danger areas is the VOCs, or the chemicals in the air, the off-gassing from the new furniture that you bought or the brand new carpet. That smell that we like, it's actually not the best for our lungs. And the UV products that are out there, a lot of them can tackle that as well.
So I think a lot of folks, again, I was one of them, I don't realize there's biological animals in our air. It's kind of a crazy thing to think about, that there are living creatures you're breathing in all the time.
Yeah, it is kind of disturbing if you think about it. I've seen some pictures already and some statistics on the number of dust mites that are floating around in the air. And if you really look at it, it disgusts you.
Yeah, you don't want to see the microscopic level of what's going on.
You do not, exactly.
So, in this, like we talk about COVID-19 impacting us all the time, but certainly it made this more on the top of our head. We're aware of our indoor air quality. We're thinking about our respiratory system. What are some of the symptoms that folks might experience? Just coughing, you know what I mean? You're in your house, you don't realize you've got dust or something building up, and all of a sudden you've got some itchy eyes and irritated throat.
All the allergic symptoms that we think of, those all can be contributed to air quality. Dust mites are a huge allergy thing, so that can cause allergic symptoms. So a good way to kind of see it is if you feel better when you leave your house and when you come home you start having symptoms, it's kind of a good indicator that maybe you ought to look at what's going on inside the home.
Now, anything in terms of new developments with air conditioning manufacturers that are incorporating this UV technology into their base units? Are you seeing more of this go out in terms of commercial or residential AC units?
For years, some of the manufacturers on their higher end equipment have done that.
Okay.
Lennox, 20 years ago, already started building an air handler that had a lot of the stuff built into it. Trane has done that. But most of them have pulled back from that because it's very easy to add to just about any air conditioning system. So to incorporate it into the system itself just makes that product more expensive and forces it upon somebody who may not want it. So it's an optional item basically in most of the market that can be added to anything.
How would you do that, Greg? In the air handler when you come into an existing location?
Correct. Yeah, most of it's installed in the air handler. Some of the products are after the air handler. Some of them are installed before, and some are installed inside of the air handler. So it just kind of depends on what we're tackling, whether it be particulates, which would be dust and dirt, dander, dust mites. Biologicals are typically treated inside the air handler or after it. Same thing with the VOCs, typically after the air handler.
Now, I think of lights. I've seen some of this used in aquariums. Sometimes restaurants use these kind of lights as a way of killing bacteria, germs. In the air situation, is it actually projected into the air? How does it work there, Greg?
Well, the basic technology is ultraviolet light. There are other technologies that take off of that, but the basic technology of ultraviolet light, basically UV lights, which are put off by the sun, one particular wavelength is used, and that wavelength, 254C, is used to disrupt the cell membranes and the DNA, basically, of biologicals. So it kills viruses, bacteria, molds, mildews when they pass past the lights. The lights are typically installed inside the unit, shining on a surface, and as the air moves past it, anything that's floating in that air comes in contact with those rays of light, rays of energy, and it's disruptive to their DNA.
That's why he's our guy for AC. Gregg Bowman has more knowledge about air conditioning than you realize. You think you turn it on and cool your house off. There's nothing there's so many more features nowadays with air conditioners, smart features. There's all kinds of things going on that you can have options in your air conditioning unit.
Most definitely, yeah. It's not like our grandparents' air conditioning, which just cooled the temperature and removed some humidity. We can focus. Systems today can be targeted to switch back from dehumidifying to cooling to, with the UV products for treating the air quality. So there's a lot that can be done with your air conditioning.
Lots of tech advances in thermostats and all kinds of things out there. Greg stays on top of all this stuff, as you can tell. He's got great knowledge in this space. What have you seen in terms of any particular products that new construction? Tampa's covered in new construction, got cranes everywhere. Is there one particular AC unit that manufacturer that comes in and does a whole subdivision or a whole condominium, makes a big deal like that, and then you come in behind him and say, boy, sometimes when you buy in mass, with these units, you see a knockoff, like a Carrier, a second grade, or they make a smaller unit or a less expensive unit that you see in these condominiums, these huge apartment complexes, that kind of thing. Do they get lifetime out of that like you would for a home unit?
No, not really. Almost all the manufacturers have their premier line, and then they'll have a builder's grade, is what we typically call it, which is designed for the new construction market, and it's basically a lower priced product, but typically doesn't have the lifespan. The interesting thing about the market is 30 years ago, your big brands with their premier lines, those were great products.
Yeah.
Today, the builder's grade and the premier products, there's probably not a whole lot of difference. The real difference is how well they're installed. I'm very confident that we could take a builder's grade product and install it in your home and spend some extra time and do some extra steps to install it right, and you'll get just as much performance out of that as you would of a premier unit. Now, you don't have all the features, the dehumidification and all that the premier products would have, but lifespan-wise, that's more dependent on how well it's installed.
That's some great advice for all you folks out there in the Bay Area. We talk about being your consumer advocate. air conditioning is a big expense. You can spend a lot of money on these units. Gregg's telling you that it's all about having a professional installer, because if the thing is installed incorrectly, it doesn't matter if you have the top of the line, because you're not going to it's going to frustrate itself with cooling. Circulation is going to be bad. Gregg's a pro. He'll come in and check out all your rooms. You're not going to have one room that's hot and one room that's cool. He's got solutions for all that stuff.
Yeah, we definitely do. There's so many options that are available that any problem that's out there with your home comfort can be solved. And there's not anyone that can't.
Gregg, what's the best way to get in touch with you, and what can they expect if they want to check out this UV thing or try to improve their indoor air quality at their house?
Best way to reach us is our direct on the phone at 727-286-3170. Our website, acguyoftampa.com. Just take the and bay off of our name and just go acguyoftampa.com. You'll have all our contact info there. But we do free estimates. So if you have a concern about indoor air quality, we're more than willing to come out and give you a free assessment and a quote on what the options would be best for your home.
What about bundling services? Is that an idea, or you have a package? What's your maintenance package there, Gregg?
Oh, our VIP
That's
program.
Right, the VIP program.
Yeah, the VIP program is our maintenance package. That's where we take care of all your annual maintenance. Twice a year, we're coming out, cleaning your units, making sure your drain is not backing up on you, making sure any problems that are developing are caught before they become a major breakdown. We do all that for $14 a month, getting all that, as well as getting some other benefits with that.
You can see you better to handle this. Outside of your roof, I think your AC unit's probably about the biggest single investment in your home. You better have someone who knows what they're doing. AC guy of Tampa, Gregg Bowman, is our guy in that space. Get in touch with Gregg for all your air conditioning needs or any questions you have. I mean, he'll come out and help you out. Gregg, I want to thank you for coming in so much. You do such a great job for us as our partner in that space. When we come back, I have Alex Lima, Blackbelt Fitness, is going to join us after the break, and I got a feel-good story for you about a FedEx driver who went out of her way to commit a random act of kindness. Brandon kind of wants to make sure everyone commits a random act of kindness. I love the fact that it's spreading. Come on back and hear the story about how our random act is spreading all across the country.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253. Check out consumerqb.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
That's right, consumerqb.com is the spot to find all our partners and our sponsors. The sponsor for this segment is Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving company of the Consumer Quarterback Show. They moved Brandon himself. That's how they became the official moving company for us. And these guys do such a great job. They've got tons of Angie's List Super Service Awards. Check them out online at brotherseasymoving.com. And, of course, Brandon is a real estate professional. He's got properties available for you, even in this time of low inventory. Johnny's going to throw one up on the screen for me this time. What do you got, Johnny? Here's one in Tampa. If you're looking to build something, we've got a lot for you right near downtown. 12 minutes from downtown Tampa, 4 minutes from the yacht club. If you want to build 5510 South Elkins Ave, right in Tampa, a chance for you to build your own home in Tampa. What a great opportunity from Brandon and the Platinum MVP team. All right, part of our show is the feel-good story, and he talks a lot about the random act of kindness. We encourage everybody to commit a random act of kindness, and I have a story about how our random act is spreading. A mother in Ohio shared a heartwarming story with photos on Facebook after a FedEx driver left an unexpected gift for her son. Kalita Wheeler said her FedEx driver, who revealed her name only as Aubrey, bought her son Elijah a brand new basketball and a hoop, along with a touching note. She said, "I just wanted your son to have the best hoop that'll grow with him and all his friends. It's wonderful that you guys go out and shoot hoops with him," she said. Well, the mother was stunned. She didn't know where to begin. As she walked to the porch, she noticed the ball and the instruction manual. She read the letter. She said she instantly started crying. She said, "Come to find out, the random act of kindness that happened right at our home. I finally read the small print and the corner, wondering who Aubrey was. I then realized it was our female FedEx truck driver that delivers in our area. She's come around here when Eli and his friends were playing basketball, or Dan and I were out shooting with him, and she thought she'd help." What an amazing thing that she did for him out of pure kindness. There are still very much good people in the world. I'm going to have Elijah write her a letter, thank you, and give her a thank you card next time she comes through. She says, "Thank you, Aubrey, so much. You made his day. Can't wait to see you come through. I owe you a world of thanks. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. God bless you, Aubrey." So the whole idea of the random act of kindness is, folks, you're going to feel better about it yourself. You're going to help someone out. You're going to feel better about it. And you be first. You pay it forward. And let's see how far this thing can spread, because that's all it takes is you to be the first one. So please consider committing a random act of kindness. Okay, in our Salem Media Group studios now is Alex Lima. Blackbelt Fitness. Alex does all kinds of great events for us. He's doing a lot of charity stuff out there as well. What's going on, Alex?
Yeah, what's up, man? How's it going?
Pretty
nice
good,
to be back.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so we have every year my group, my business, we do a Toys for Tots. Like, we get a run going. I get clients and we announce it to the community and just try to get some get some presents in for underprivileged children, essentially.
Well, I think a lot of folks don't realize that training for martial arts is not just for guys who want to compete in a fighting. This is about fitness as well. So Alex works with kids, females, people of all ages, right? It's for everybody.
Absolutely, everybody. I've trained everybody from military and law enforcement personnel to soccer moms and even some grandmothers.
That's right.
So, yeah.
You find the kids they take to it right away. They're little. They all want to do a spinning back kick. We talk about how they're all jumping out. They're trying to do something crazy right away.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I've noticed is, so I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in this since I was a little kid. I've seen waves of martial arts people come in and out the door. Kids are a little different nowadays. I don't know if I should be maybe saying this, but I find that the generation thinks I don't know. Nowadays, people tend to be a little softer.
Okay.
I think.
No, certainly I am.
And you know what I'm finding though. So the boys, and I got some really tough boys though. I'm not saying all boys, right? But a lot of the boys are a little softer, kind of mama's boy type thing. And I'm finding my girls are a lot tougher.
How about that? There's an age at which I used to date a woman who taught third grade, and I went in and watched one time, and the girls dominated the entire class. I mean, they're pushing people around. They beat a boy up. Any voice at that age. Girls, they're aggressive. You can teach them great skills, I imagine.
Oh, for sure. If I was getting a dodgeball squad together right now, I'd be picking all girls. So.
Now, what about you? You sometimes you're fighting, you're training. What's going on with you?
Yeah, so due to COVID, it shut down a lot of things. This year, 2020, I was supposed to do a lot of competing and traveling for training, and obviously that was all shut down. Couldn't get to the airports, things like that. So, but now things are starting to open back up again. So I'm going to be doing a training camp down in Miami after Thanksgiving, so for first week of December.
So on location in Miami, you go down there and get a bunch of kids together?
No. I'm going to go train with some high level black belts out there, guys that fight, compete, train with some of the best. Every time I get an opportunity, I want to be with the best in the world.
How does Miami and Tampa compare? Just a chance for you to work on new stuff?
Different. It's just a different look. I've actually trained with the guy before. It's Daniel Perez, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
He's really interesting because he was the first American that was awarded a black belt by Damian Maia. For those that don't know, Damian Maia is he has the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for mixed martial arts.
And that's pretty much the top of the sport.
It's pretty much the Super Bowl of mixed martial arts.
What weight do you compete at? What's your comfortable weight?
So I've kind of I'm at the point now where unless I get a decent money offer, I'm kind of done cutting weight.
Okay.
So I'll fight really close to where I'm at. So I walk around I'm 6 foot 190.
Okay.
So I may cut to like 185.
I love how weight is not weight, and even power is not necessarily the dividing line in mixed martial arts. You can have people of all different sizes that can be pretty deadly.
Absolutely. A strategy and technique is what it's all about. And that's why like a young lady can come in and she absolutely, with some training, can take out a 200-pound guy. She can choke a guy out for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing the confidence you get from this kind of skill once you develop it. I've watched the little kids, Brandon's daughter even competes with you sometimes.
Yeah. She was in the summer camp. She's really, really, I mean, obviously she has the athletic genes,
right.
but anybody can learn this stuff. You don't have to come from an athletic background.
I love the idea that it's great for flexibility too. We talked about older folks as they get older, maybe not thinking about kicking somebody, but certainly that flexibility is huge.
Yeah, I mean, you can see my guys there that are doing that was a sparring day that we had. We got another one coming up on the 28th of this month. Those two came to me with relatively no training whatsoever, and I mean, look at them; they're throwing down in there,
So how do you encourage? I can imagine there's kids that you have to coax the aggression out of them. I did the same thing in football.
Yeah. The first thing, so I approach my teaching a little bit differently. Like nobody, I don't care if you tell me that you've trained, unless I know you and I've seen you around, but like even if you tell me that you've trained before, nobody walks into my gym and just jumps right into sparring and doing the full contact stuff. Right. You need to show me that you have a level of control before I let you do these things, because you're either going to hurt yourself or you're going to potentially hurt someone else, or it's going to get serious and you're going to end up getting knocked out and not want to come back.
Well, I'm amazed at the pain tolerance. We talked last time you were on about the kicking and shin developing your pain tolerance and your shins and stuff. Yeah. It's absolutely amazing to kick someone. There's just not a lot of flesh below your knee. You're going to hit somebody with your ankle, shin, foot.
Yeah, wow. You're killing off you're deadening the nerve endings. That's what you're doing. And no, it's true, and that's what you have to do in order to turn your legs into weapons.
Can you imagine? So tell us the story one more time, just about kicking the parking meters.
Yeah, so I used to train back in the day. I trained with some like really hardcore like Muay Thai guys. I don't know if you remember back in the day the Van Damme movie where he was kickboxer and he's kicking the banana tree, boom, boom. So I used to train with these guys that we used to go out to Clearwater and they would kick the parking meters for conditioning. I never like really kicked into the parking meters, but I have taken like glass Coke bottles and stuff and banged my shins.
And so it's something you continually do. It's because you'll lose that tolerance if you stop doing that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been kicked in the shins or ran into a table before. It's very unpleasant. So now imagine when you're throwing your leg at 60, 70 miles per hour at somebody.
I never thought of that. You really can time the speed of that thing.
Oh, yeah. They've clocked them. There's some really powerful, fast kickers have been at like 60 miles per hour and stuff. Imagine 60 mile per hour, anything hitting you. It's unpleasant.
You just think about someone's heel, how hard that is. My goodness. Put you right to sleep. Now, we talked last time. I love that spinning back kick the kid pulled off in that fight that was most recently. Now, that was like a dream strike kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, the stars aligned for that one.
Right.
Yeah, the guy was holding his weight and he could do a jump spin. It'll definitely go down in the knockout reels for life.
Have you seen any other fights lately? I have not been paying attention. Who's out there?
Again, fighting even at the big stage has been weird. Like, I don't know if you know that the UFC actually had to buy an island.
Oh, yeah, Fight Island.
They bought an island out in Abu Dhabi in order to be able to be in international waters to put on fights.
Man, that guy's a businessman, that guy.
That's what it comes down to.
Now, women also jumping into this thing huge. What percentage of girls do you work with?
It's bizarre. It goes through waves. Like, there was a while where like 90% of my clientele was women, and I couldn't get guys to come in because they would come in and see just a bunch of women kickboxing, and they thought I was doing but if you stayed and watched the class, you would see these girls were like drilling each other,
right. Yeah.
And then now it's the majority of my clientele is men now, so it just goes in waves.
It's certainly got a lot more popular in the fitness arena. They're incorporating some of your stuff into general fitness training.
Well, it's so fun. It's it's an activity unlike any other. It's full body. You're using muscles. You're using endurance. You're using your cardio. It's everything. And it's interesting for me. Like, walking on a treadmill is boring. I can't do it. I can't do it. My cardio comes from sparring and from wrestling and stuff with people.
It's great to mix it up. If you're out there and you're someone who trains all the time, you get tired of your workout. You want to mix it up. This is a great way to increase your flexibility. And like you said, it's fun.
Yeah, everything. Now, that being said, I am still a proponent of doing your lifts and stuff and everything. I love to train it all.
So Alex has got a full body holistic approach there. He's going to train everything you need to do to compete in this sport, or just get yourself in better shape. Alex, what events or what can people do? How do they get in touch with you? They come to you?
Yeah, I mean, just on social media, you can look up Blackbelt Fitness and Martial Arts Club or Blackbelt_Jitsu. And I mean, you can see I got 5-star reviews everywhere.
And you come to them, right?
So I do in-house training, and I also do a little bit of traveling within a certain mile radius. Yeah.
Okay, so he's open to the idea of working with you. Certainly, we want to encourage you to get together with Alex, because it's not just a simple matter of getting in shape. You think, well, I can get in shape. What about learning some real defense techniques? What about something, hey, you never know. I'm out in a place. I want to learn how to take a knife away from somebody.
Yeah, walking on a treadmill is not a life skill. Right. I'll give you fitness and a life skill.
That's right. Yeah. So talk about a way you can get somebody to start with awareness and get them to understand how they can defend themselves in a situation.
You got to come in and train. Yeah. Most people I think they did a study that is, now it's an exaggerated number, obviously, but they said like most men specifically are like 400% less effective in a fight than they actually believe that they are.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because they've never faced, there's a difference when you're facing a high-level opponent. It's one thing to beat up a drunken scrub in like a bar somewhere that no one's ever heard of.
Right.
But a high-level opponent is different. So we train to take on high-level opponents. And if you can compete and take on a high-level opponent, fighting someone that doesn't know how to fight is relatively easy.
Alex Lima, Blackbelt Fitness. He's come in all the time, gives us great tips, works with Brandon, trains and girls, trains even Braylon, his daughter. So don't miss out on a chance to work with a professional right in our area. Alex, I want to encourage folks to get in touch with you. Is there a package or something you want to offer out there or something you want to tell them?
I'm always open. One thing that I do with my pricing, if someone is underprivileged or someone that is a victim of bullying or some sort of assault, please reach out to me and we'll find a way to get you training and get you some help.
Alex Lima does a great job and encourages everyone to work with him. And Alex is also an EMT, right?
Paramedic, yeah.
Paramedic. So he's out there doing great things in the community all the time. We want to thank him for his service as a first responder. If you're interested in working with Alex, check him out online, Blackbelt Fitness, Blackbelt_Jitsu. Thanks so much for coming in, Alex. All right, I want to thank Brandon for giving me the opportunity to sit in his chair. It's been a great week. We had a great show today. Diane Vance was on yesterday. Today we had Kevin Overstreet, Gregg Bowman, Alex Lima. We're doing our best to bring all the partners on. We're going to miss you over the Thanksgiving break, but we want to make sure we have great Consumer Quarterback shows built up for you. So don't go anywhere. Check out our sponsors. We're the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're online at consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.